So this is good. Good morning. I thought I might make it down there before the sun rose to the end to the waterworks. We could, but I think we leave it like this for today. There we have Tiberias in the background, the new Tiberias, or the newer Tiberias. And here we have the Sea of Galilee, for anybody that's here for the first time. And 2 days ago, I have to apologize to the YouTube followers that because of an early morning 6:30 a.m. baptism renewal service, I didn't get to upload the YouTube videos 2 days ago. Early, it took me about 2 hours late. I apologize for that. I'm just zeroing in here, zooming in, because there you see Mount Hermon. Today we're promised very hot weather. Right now it's very enjoyable and comfortable, but they even talk about reaching temperatures of 47 degrees Celsius. I didn't calculate how that turns into, divided by 5, 5 9's 45, multiply it by 9. Well, for divided by 5, so we have 9 and a little bit, almost 9 and a half, multiplied by 9, and then we've got 81, and if you do the halves, let's say 4, so 85, and add 32, 87 and 30, 117 degrees Fahrenheit. With a lot of dust, but who knows, there's weather forecasts and things. There might be other factors that alter the predictions and make a difference between predictions and reality. But we're kind of psychologically prepared that it could be very hot today. And here, if we look right behind, just beside the tree here to the left of this palm grass, palm tree, palm grass. Then we have here at the center of the screen, just where the lake hits the landmass in the very center, that's the Mount of Beatitudes. Behind it is Mount Hermon. And then over to the right here, just again at the edge of the tree, more or less, we have Capernaum. And down from the Mount of Beatitudes, the multiplication of the loaves. It's a different angle, so I dwell on that again for you today. And you can appreciate the width of the sea, because Magdala is at the widest point of the Sea of Galilee to the west. So we can see it over there. And then it stretches straight across eastward to more or less where the sun is rising, a little bit south of there. And that's the widest water mass of the Sea of Galilee. And the east side is not a bulge, it's more like a straight north-south line. So just a little bit of local geography there. And here we're under the southern cliffs of Mount Arbel to our left. And this is a water main carrying salty water so that it doesn't alter the balance of the lake. And then we have a very peaceful morning. There's no wind, which is a little bit in contrast to the first reading today, where it's really not peaceful. In the social setting, it's quite tense and a great sense of hostility, aggression, and very strong words are spoken. And so Paul and Barnabas are viewed with hostile spirit, and people are rallied, people of influence. Happens a lot in our world still today. And they are influenced to move the political leadership against Paul and Barnabas, and they're basically chased out of town. And this stands in contrast then with the closing line, that the disciples are filled with joy and the Holy Spirit. It's amazing the proximity of tears and tribulation with thanksgiving and experience of God's power at work in our lives. There's a great realm of freedom, a great detachment from self in a way, because one knows oneself to be not that important, in the sense that it's not about me. It's about a bigger cause, a bigger reality, about many other human beings. It's about the presence of God in our lives. And we can have a great serenity in the midst of difficulties and trials. And the circumstances here are not the definitive read of what's going on. There's a whole other level happening, a whole other beauty blossoming in the midst of all the difficulties and hostilities and challenges of life. And really that's happening all the time in all of our lives, even in the natural realm. We had a bunch of reeds down there 30 yards earlier, and they seem to be withering, but others are growing. And where withering is taking place, maybe roots are getting stronger for relaunching another set of growth. Like these pods now are going to shed their little red seeds, and the pods have fulfilled their role, and they will recycle. It's marvelous how nature recycles creation. That's the whole Eastertide, really. This time of Easter is a time of contemplating how there's a new life, a definitive life, rising from the demise of a lot of our strengths. And oftentimes the greatest strength is humility, and not big muscle. And those who have big muscle need more humility, so that humility becomes the defining strength. Humility is a great strength, because it's really love that is integrating all of the strengths for the ultimate purpose of love. That each person be respected and treasured and reach eternal happiness and joy in that eternal communion. There are marvelous lines in the gospel about that, about how this divine presence in somebody that just looks like one of us. And it's not totally strange, because, you know, interestingly enough, we're all made in the image and likeness. So that great richness of fruitfulness and fecundity in our lives, that our branches are hanging low, laden with the fruit of love, is an extraordinary calling that we have. And we can't say we're the ultimate sources. The ultimate sources is because there's a great strength working in us, a great presence. And we actually do have the nerve to say divine presence. Divine presence working in us. I think we leave it like that, people. There's just so much there. The psalm will be very beautiful because it captures all of this. Psalm 98, all the ends of the earth have seen the saving power of God. It's just fascinating to see all this fruitfulness in humanity, expressed in many ways in literature and poetry and music and art, but the biggest expression is in the smile of a baby, of a child, of a parent, of a grandparent, of a neighbor, and to be able to be facilitators of that smile. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators, here at Mount Arbel in the early morning. Look at that electricity, or no, that's the waterworks. All the things that human beings have invented to make our life a little better. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Fruitful lives with the divine presence in us working in marvelous ways.